All right, so we did the research data project on MLS players of the 2021 season, which was last year, and we chose all 27 teams, and then we also chose all different types of players throughout the league, such as forwards, midfielders, defenders, and goalkeepers. We also decided to choose U.S. players because it's an interesting fact for all the players if we wanted to make a U.S. men's team. And then we also have goals, which decides if a team wins, ties, or lost during a game. Assists are passes for the goals. We have shots converted, fouls committed, which shows how many of each player is either more offensive or more laid back as a player. And then we also have accurate passes, which is the most key part of the game, and then the minutes played, which is how much they played. And at the bottom, we also have the goalkeepers, which is saves, and then we have clean sheets, which are games where they never got scored on. PK saves, there wasn't really any for these players, and minutes played. Here we have graphs comparing, contrasting all of the players, such as goals, accurate passes, shots converted, and saves. So what are we doing with this data? With this data, we're making an 11-man roster of who we think are the best. So we'll be choosing probably one goalkeeper, 3 defenders, or 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, and 3 forwards. And then we would also like to rank all the players in their categories, such as forwards, midfielders, defenders, and goalies.
Okay, so here we have our table. In this table, we only have only the field players and no goalkeepers. And we chose this because the goalkeepers, they have saves, clean sheets, and PK save percentage, and so like that doesn't really apply to these players besides with the defenders with the clean sheets. But basically, because we're basing we're figuring out our confidence interval off of our goals, we have we just have strictly the field players and the assists and all that stuff. To the confidence interval, we instead of using all of the players to try to find a confidence interval, we only took the top 10 goal scorers of 2021. And so, there's that. And so, basically, we're going to try to find 99% confidence interval for the mean of goals. And basically, in order to find that, we, to find the lower bound and a higher bound, we took the mean, which is 10.7, 11 goals realistically. And we subtracted and added the margin of error to that. And so that got the lower bound as 7.65 goals, which really is about 8 goals or so. And then the higher bound is 13.74, which is really just 14 goals. And so that's saying that all of this says basically that out of these 10 players, we expect that the average between these 10 players in 2021 would always be between 8 goals and 14 goals scored as an average. And the average of all the players sampled the average of the goals is 5.6, which is really six goals. And so 99% of the time, we always expect the average of these 10 goal scorers, the top 10 goal scorers, to be above the whole group, the whole sample's average of goals scored. So
we are running a hypothesis test for the average number of players whose goal scoring tally is equal to 1. I decided to do goal scoring because I'm a striker, but you can also do average of passing, etc. So the null hypothesis will be the average number of players whose goal scoring tally is equal to 1 in the season. And the alternative always is the opposite of the null, which means the average number of players whose goal scoring tally is not going to be equal to 1 in the system. Next, we have the level of significance, which is 0.01. This means that there's a 1% of risk that we can get between these answers. Now we have the rejection region, which basically it's the rejection of the null if the t-value is less than the critical value. Then we have the p-value, which basically the null it's less than the alpha or level of significance, which is 0.1. Next, we run a test statistic formula, which basically gives us or gave us 6.387. Then we have the test statistic value, which is basically 0.000016. Next, we have to run our decision rule. While using the rejection region, we got that we reject the null because the t-value is less than the critical value. Next, using the p-value, we reject the null because the population is less than the alpha value, which is greater than 0.00016. That it's less than the 0.1 that we got from our level of significance. And then we just got our restatement, which basically is that there's evidence that at 1% level of significance, the mean number of players goal scoring tally is not equal to 1. And that's our progress in the right so far. Thank you.